Is it me or am I noticing a certain pattern with Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson every time he becomes a world champion, right? Whether it's in WWE or AEW. It seems to me that there's a curse on Daniel Bryan's world title reigns. It seems that every world title reign he has, it's cursed, right? There's always some type of like misfortune that happens whenever Daniel Bryan or Danielson win the world championship. Okay, if you don't believe me, you can go back to his first world title reign when he cashed in on Big Show, TLC 2011, I think, and he won the World Heavyweight Championship. He held it for a good 3-4 months. But what happened during that title reign? If you remember, he was involved in a storyline with AJ Lee, a romantic storyline. And before he lost the world title at Wrestlemania, he was too focused on AJ Lee, right? He was too busy and was too caught up in lust with AJ Lee, and he lost the world title in 18 seconds to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28. Okay? Fast forward to 2013 when he won the WWE Championship from Randy Orton. Not from Randy Orton, from John Cena, right? What happened after that match? Triple H, who was the special guest referee, had agreed Daniel Bryan. And then Randy Orton cashed in his Money in the Bank and won the WWE title. And then that formed the Authority, which their main purpose was to hold back Daniel Bryan from winning the world title ever again. Basically to hold back the entire locker room, right? If you're watching around that time, it was a whole climb for Daniel Bryan to overcome the Authority, right? And then when he beat Randy Orton at Night of Champions, he gets screwed over again when Triple H reverses the decision because he saw that the referee had counted too damn fast. Triple H reversed the decision and took the title off of Daniel Bryan, and then he vacated the title, right? Daniel Bryan got screwed over again at that one pay-per-view named Battleground. And then at Hell in a Cell, he got screwed over by his own mentor, Shawn Michaels, right? In Hell in a Cell against Randy Orton. Then again, at Elimination Chamber leading up to WrestleMania 30, he got screwed over by Kane, who was his former tag team partner. And it was at that time when he had joined the Authority. So he wins both the titles, the world title and the WWE title at WrestleMania 30. So we're thinking, okay, Daniel Bryan finally got his moment. He's finally getting his big break. But hold up, not too fast. Because literally, 3 weeks later or a month later, he gets injured, right? He gets a neck injury after one title defense. And once again, he has to vacate the title, right? Now, these are not all of this is like storyline context. Some of this is real life misfortune. Because if you remember, and I don't like to bring stuff like this up because it's personal, right? It was around WrestleMania 30, after he won the world title. I think he lost his father a couple weeks later, right? And that's a real life misfortune, right? That's personal. So when it comes to like the storyline, misfortunes, even in real life. It just seems that every time man wins this world title, it's like he's cursed instantly. Or even if he's like challenging from the world title, chasing it, it's like there's always misfortune coming Bryan Danielson's way, or Daniel Bryan, right? So he has to vacate that title and then be out for a lot of months to heal from his neck injury, and then he loses his career, has to retire early. And then if you remember, when he beat AJ Styles for the WWE Championship, he went into the Planet Champion gimmick, right? But it wasn't really a successful title reign because Daniel Bryan was always supposed to be the babyface underdog hero, but he never got to be that as champion because he was dealing with so much misfortune, injuries and setbacks, and people trying to screw him over, right? Now, Kofi Kingston, when the whole Kofi Mania movement happened, Kofi Kingston wound up being more successful as world champion than Daniel Bryan ever got to be. Kofi Kingston got to have a successful title reign, right? That was supposed to be Daniel Bryan in 2014 when his Yes movement finally paid off. It paid dividends. Kofi Mania paid dividends for Kofi Kingston. When Daniel Bryan lost the belt to Kofi Kingston, it's like Kofi Kingston did something that Daniel Bryan was supposed to do 5 years prior. So I just thought I'd bring that up because that's also another case of his misfortune, getting outshined by Kofi Kingston, right? And then you look at AEW, you look at All Out, and Bryan Danielson has to overcome the Elite, Jack Perry, and then Christian Cage is trying to cash in on Bryan Danielson, gets attacked by the Patriarchy, and then the BCC come out, save him, but then they turn on him. Jon Moxley tries to suffocate Bryan Danielson with a bag, right? Dude tried to murder this man on pay-per-view. So if you're Bryan Danielson, you get turned on by your own group, your best friends. They turn their back on you. And then you have all these different people coming after you for your title. Now, recently on Dynamite, you got Nigel McGuinness coming after Bryan Danielson, calling him out. You got Christian Cage insulting his wife, insulting Bryan Danielson, saying that his wife should have got CTE instead of him. That was a cold line right there. But that's just Christian Cage, healing it up. But it's just from a storyline context, Bryan Danielson has all of these adversities. He has all of these adversaries in his way trying to take him down. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, every time this man wins a world championship or even being close to a world title, it's always misfortune coming his way. That's why I'm saying his world title reigns are cursed. Because after everything I've named, every instance that I've mentioned from WWE and even in AEW, this is proof. And you can go back and watch all those different storylines and segments that I named concerning Daniel Bryan. It's all his misfortune. And it's like Bryan Danielson is really not supposed to be the world champion because there's always going to be some type of adversity or misfortune coming his way. And that's why I say his title reigns from both WWE and AEW are cursed.